It was probably about 1998 or 2000. I was 9 years old at the time, and there were a lot of cases of human trafficking using the pelagic fishing boat. Kind of like that. It was probably early summer, a rainy day. Being a young child, I wanted to play outside because I especially prefer rainy days. But I didn't have any friends to hang out with that day. I think my parents were out somewhere then, so I thoughtlessly grabbed an umbrella and went out alone, wearing slippers. I used to live in a poor village, and it was located on a pretty high-level hillside. Anyway, I was playing by myself, digging a pit and watching the water pool in the playground. Now, suddenly, a middle-aged lady of my mom's age approached me. She came up to me and said, "I'm sorry, kid, but can I borrow your umbrella for a moment? It'll only take a minute." "Yes, ma'am." There was a place like a cabin in the playground to avoid the rain. So I was sitting there waiting for the lady, but she didn't come back for quite a while. Then I saw a blue truck approaching. I took a closer look and I found that she was in the truck. She called me. "Your umbrella is behind the truck's trunk, and you see, I hurt my leg. So can you come get your umbrella by yourself, dear?" When I looked behind the truck, I could see the end of the umbrella rising up so that I could grab it easily. Come to think about it now, the whole thing was totally artificial. However, I was too young to think of it back then. I was going to the back side of the truck without thinking to grab the end of the umbrella and try to pull it out, but suddenly the driver got out. I thought he was trying to help me, but he grabbed me and forced me into the car. Then he put his hand on my mouth and said like this, "Hey, son, you're not sick, are you? Or do you have any disability?" Confused, I just nodded slowly. "Okay, you'll be fine." Well, that dude was a real bee. He was talking to himself like that, and the lady next to him smiled and told him, "Wow, we finally made it today, babe. I want you to buy me a wallet." Now that I think about it, I think they were lovers or a couple or something. Not long after, there was a checkpoint ahead. I was crying loudly at the time, and luckily, the police seemed to look at us, and the guy and the lady must have both noticed it. They suddenly made a U-turn with the car at 90 degrees abruptly. Soon, I could smell burning wheels as I heard the sound of a gunshot. I could hear the police radio, and it was raining cats and dogs, and furthermore, the serious criminals are next to me. It was insane. I was just trembling with fear. When the car had stopped, I saw two policemen coming towards us. I was looking through the side mirror, and the man in the driver's seat suddenly got out and stabbed a cop with a knife. Then another cop next to him pulled out a gun and shot him in both thighs. Suddenly, the siren sounded so loud that my ears were about to rip. The lady sitting next to me was scared and couldn't say anything, just shivering. I ended up being released safely. It's been a long time since then, so I couldn't find any info about it. But I remember that my parents had interviews with some of the newspaper publishing companies. It turned out that both the man and the woman were from another country. They lived here for a long time, and they tried to escape through the smuggling route to somewhere else. And there were more than 4 people killed by them. I don't know about the man after that, but I heard that the woman ended up committing suicide later. One night after I heard that she was dead, I met her in my dream. She was just smiling without saying anything. And when I finally woke up from my dream, I got goosebumps. The 2 cops who saved me got a special promotion by reason of the civil protection. You like that? Besides, I found another thing. When I was in the car that day, it smelled a little bloody, so I thought maybe it was because the guy was bleeding. But that wasn't it. There was someone's wrist in the man's pants. It turned out that their first murder was a complete success. The man felt like things were going to be fine if he kept the body's wrist, so he cut it and carried it around with him, despite the rotten smell and bloody stench. I guess humans can do everything when there's an extreme situation. Also, this is what the experts say. Psychologically, people think a lot and get depressed on rainy days, so the crime rate is normally higher than on clear days. So I really want everyone to be careful on rainy days, especially when you guys are alone.